is something which in golf is massively underrated and can help you lower your scores. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson. Welcome back to Get Good at Golf. Today we're going to give you an in-depth yet incredibly simple way that you can hit lower scores by shaping your golf ball in the air. So the first thing I want you to do, guys, is get in the comments below and let me know what is your desired shot shape. Often that can change. It can change with experience. It can change with trying to eradicate a bad shot from the bag. But you'll see here we have 3 golf balls set up on this tee. We're on a 170-yard hole. Now, what is the difference between that ball, and that ball? This is something which is quite simple, and Chris talks about it so much on his channel, The Everyday Golfer, where if you know what desired shot you want to play, why wouldn't you give yourself a slight advantage? So you'll see here we have one at the right side, one bang in the middle, with pretty much everyone who would start on this hole would go around. I'm going to go bang in the middle because I've got plenty of room that way and plenty of room that way. I don't really know what shot shape I want to play. Now that actually makes the shot a little bit more difficult, because if you don't know where the ball's going to go, you don't know exactly where it's going to start, or to be honest, where it's going to finish, which is the be all and end all. So I'm going to talk you through how to play a draw. Chris is going to talk you through how to play a fade. Then we're going to talk through a straight shot. Now, a straight shot, if you said to a professional golfer, one of the world's best players, we will offer you $1 million, but you have to hit a dead straight shot. Not many of them would take it, but if you said, I'll tell you what, I want you to hit a slight fade or a slight draw, the majority of them would take that gamble because they know exactly it's a bit easier to get a ball moving from one way to the other. So if you're going to want to play a draw, which is, I find, the most desired shot amongst everyday golfers, high handicaps, mid handicaps, the first thing I want you to do is head towards the left side of the tee box. Now, why am I doing that? I want to open this hole up. You'll see actually the flag is on the right hand side of this green, so it's not exactly the most desired shot here, but for the sake of this video we're going to start the ball out to the right and let it draw in. Now the other thing you need to think about is the wind. The wind is slightly off the right. That is helping us, so I don't need to get that ball moving too much. But we're going to start with setup. So setup wise, I know I'm on this left hand side of the tee box. Now if I were to stand a little bit open here with the shoulders open and the feet open, it's very, very difficult here for me to hit that desired draw. It's pretty much impossible because we want the club working from in to out. So the way we're going to create this draw is the relationship between the club path, which is how the club moves through the ball, and the club face angle towards that path and indeed the target. We want to make sure that the club face is close to our path yet open. That's right, if you want to hit a draw, your club face has to be open to the target, because the ball is going to set off where the club face is aiming, and we want the ball to start right at the target. Otherwise it's not a draw. It is in fact what, Chris?
It is
a hook, and we don't want to hit hooks. The ball's fallen off the tee. That's the other thing I'll say. Tee the ball up if you can, because why not make the game as easy as possible. So I want to feel like I'm going to be a little bit close to where I'm going. I want to feel like my right foot's back a little bit, my right shoulder's back a little bit, and from there it's a lot easier to give yourself the room to drop that club a little bit on the inside, feel like it works out towards the right hand side of the fairway or indeed the green. And this is what you'll see a lot of people do if they're struggling with a slice. If you're slicing the ball, you're probably coming across the ball, you've probably got the face wide open, and that is how you generally lose that kind of horrible floaty one to the right. So I'm going to stand a little bit more closed here, and from there think about how I release that club. Ball position plays a huge factor, which Chris is going to talk through in a couple of moments time, but I'm going to have the ball just forward of centre, give myself plenty of time for that club to come from the inside, work outside, and then hopefully shape a little bit like that one. That one started at the flag and moved to the left, so that's just at the left side of the green now, but I got that ball moving the right way. That's objective one. Then start working on your aim, then start working on where the ball's going to finish, and that is how you play a draw. So before Chris talks in fade and straight shots, you can see my divot there is pointing just to the right of the flag. Ideally, I think I would have aimed a little bit further right. As we've said, that ball did start at the flag and then move to the left, so it did draw a little bit, but I would class that more as a hook, not because of the in-swing principles that I've delivered, but because I've just not aimed properly and not taken my time to think, right, I want to start it maybe at that bush and move it back towards that flag. Now, Chris, the fade is the optimum shot here. Let's see how close you can get.
So guys, the fade is probably the most played shot on the tours. So the tour players, the pros, they are really thinking, right, I want to take out that left-hand side of the course. And they often play a fade because that is the safest shot. We see a lot of times when people are trying to draw the ball, we get that overdraw, we get that hook. So we're going to use the tee to our advantage again here. So even if you're doing this with a driver, we want to think, right, if I aim if I get on the right hand side of the tee box, I can start it a little bit left and let it fade back to that flag. But James obviously started his ball at the flag playing that draw, but that's not a bad thing. If you are somebody who does draw the ball, don't start aiming off the green, because a lot of the times there, and we see it with the fade, is, right, I've got a bit of a fade, so if I just aim a bit further left, I've got to counter for that. And we're quickly aiming 100, 200 yards left, and we're then going to encourage even more slice. So if you're somebody who over slices, over hooks the ball, try and aim less right or left to start to neutralise that path out a little bit more. You'll then have a better understanding, is it your face that is wide open that's causing the problem, or was it your path because of where you've aimed? But on here, I'm going to aim obviously to the left, but to get into this setup, what I want you to do is start to get the routine of thinking, right, here I am playing a fade, but I want my club face to be closed to the target but open to my stand. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find something here, so I'm going to get this between the edge of the green and the flag. That's where I want my face to be, and then my feet are going to be just left of the green to create the path that's going to get the curvature. So I'm going to come in here first. I'm going to always set the club first before I do my stance, have one hand on the club there, and then put my feet into position. And the reason is for that, how many times I see people, right, I know I'm playing a fade, I'll put my club in, right, yeah, that's comfortable, okay, yeah, perfect. And quickly there, they hit the shot, they play the fade, and they're on the second tee here, is nowhere near the green. So make sure you set that first, get that into the position we want, build your stance from there, and then all I'm doing is I'm trying to make a neutral swing. So this is where a lot of people start to get confused. Are you trying to hold the club face open, the same as with James with the draw? Are you trying to wrap that club over and turn it over? No, you're trying to make a normal swing. We've got the things that's set up to allow you to play that shape. So if I have that club face where I want it and my stance a little bit open, if I just return that exactly how it is now, that is going to have or create a fade shot. The same with a draw. If you've closed your stance and you've closed your club face, you're going to be able to get that shape. You're not trying to manipulate it, you're not trying to release early with your hands or try and hold it off for a fade. We just want you to get set there and then put a neutral swing on that.
Oh, it's delightful.
And you'll start.
The wind's holding it up a bit, but that was a really good demonstration.
And that's where I've aimed at the left side of the green. It's gone onto the left half, but I've got a chance of a putt there. I've not tried to be over going for the flag. That's a good position. I've hit a green. If we hit one more green in regulation, we know by the stats should say we should take one shot off your score. So just getting it on the green there is a good result. Right, this is the elusive one. So this is the elusive straight shot, and this is what we see from a lot of people. You just go into the middle of the tee box because that's where you should be. You want to be even throughout there, and your playing partner's just done the same. But from here it becomes very hard. We see a lot of people, if you're a hooker of the golf ball, we start to see all sorts of different patterns. If you're a slicer of the golf ball, we start to see you not so confident with this. And again, all we've got to do here is we've got to set up neutral. So I'm going to now have my club face pointing straight to the target, my stance parallel to that, so nice and square. But this is where it's very elusive to find that perfect zero path with a zero face to hit that ball straight. So just think about it, guys. I don't want you to try and play the elusive straight shot. Play with what you have got on the day. If you've been on the driving range or you've played for years and you know I've always hit a slice, commit to that shot. Just play for your slice or play for your fade and commit to that. Start to get your club face pointing right, start to get your setup basics right, and understand why you do that shot. If you understand that, like for me here, I know I hit a fade as a normal, so I would still set up for my normal fade. I'm still aiming to that left half of the green, and I'm just going to put a normal golf swing on that. Pretty much identical to the last one, faded ever so slightly. But guys, if you can do that, you can start to understand how to play different shot shapes. You can get your shot shape a bit more consistent. That's going to help you get good at golf.